What's up, Eagles Nation? What's going on, NFL world? How you doing, division rivals? This is Stephen Hyder with K-City Sports Channel, the sports channel where the cerebral NFL fan comes for about 10 minutes of daily content. All right, guys, let's get into today's topic. So, what I want to do for you guys is I want to break down how this contract was traded and what the ramifications are for both the Eagles. Welcome to the channel if you're an Indianapolis Colts fan and you're looking to figure out this situation. I'm going to break down where the two teams are responsible, why this stuff works the way it works, and kind of give a little insight and a little clarity to why some of these things kind of happen. All right, to start with, Carson Wentz had a salary cap hit on the season of about like $34 million is kind of how it worked out. And it was really divided up over three separate areas of the contract that lent themselves into how this kind of thing happened. All right, so to begin with, guys, you have your base salary. That one's pretty self-explanatory, guys. Everyone knows what a base salary is here. It was $15 million for Carson Wentz. Now, there's a portion of the contract that they call the prorated bonus. Generally speaking, anytime you see the word prorated bonus, guys, that's generally speaking the signing bonus, right? What you have to know about a prorated bonus is normally you'll see in these contracts where you'll see guaranteed money, but then it says something like a little nometer where it'll say like guaranteed at the signing, right? When you see something that says guaranteed at the signing, they're talking about the portion of the contract that is absolutely guaranteed no matter what happens, right? There are other portions of the contract that are guaranteed, but they're in the form of escalators, roster bonuses, things like that, okay? In this situation, the $9.2 million was part of like the 66, 67 million or so guys that he had guaranteed at the contract. This is a portion of the contract the Eagles must eat. You cannot trade this away to an opposing team. Fortunately, that situation has to be eaten by the Philadelphia Eagles. Fortunately, if you're a Colts fan, you're not on the hook for that. Now, currently, he only sits at a $15 million salary currently. There is a $10 million kick-in, though. So basically what happens on the third league calendar day of the year, on the third day of the league calendar year, I should just say. Let's put it the right way, guys. A $10 million roster bonus is going to kick in. All right? You have the option to decline that, but obviously if you decline it, leads to the question of why you trade it, right? That would be $10 million. You add that to the $15 million, and you get your $25 million salary, is what the Colts are going to pay for the season. I will tell you that Carson Wentz has some other like kind of little interesting tidbits when it comes to his contracts. He's got things that start getting guaranteed. Also on the third day of the league calendar year this year, part of his 2022 salary gets guaranteed. So you'll start having part of his base salary that'll fall into the guarantees. I don't think he has any more like huge roster bonuses. There's still roster bonuses over the last couple of years of his contract, but there's nothing like a $10 million one. It's like half that sum starts kind of popping up, guys. That's really the way that Carson Wentz's contract was structured. This is nothing new, guys. The Eagles had a very, very famous case of this happening with Isaac Sopoaga, the former nose tackle from San Francisco back in Chip Kelly's first year here in 2013, guys. We signed this guy. He was supposed to be like the nose tackle, the future of that 34 defense, right? We get him here. He's not the guy. We move him to the Patriots before he even starts a single game for the Eagles, man. It was like during training camp, during like preseason time frame. They ended up moving him at that trade point. And that was the first time we saw the issue of dead money pop up, guys, really substantially pop up. And back then, we're really talking about like $3 million of dead money was the issue. But the reason it became like kind of trend-setting or like universally known around the league is it's the way that Howie Roseman structured the contract to counteract the dead money. If he had put all the dead money in the base, if he put all the dead money in the fully guaranteed stuff like, his signing bonuses, right, the guaranteed at signing, then you would have been on the hook for the dead money. But because of the way that Howie Roseman structured that contract, when he traded some of the actual responsibility of the dead money over to the Patriots. That was really the first time we saw something like that happen, guys. There's a similar situation happening right now with Carson Wentz, guys. I will link that article down below. I believe it was Over the Cap wrote a really good article like a long time ago about the whole Isaac Sopoaga situation and like what went down and what the Eagles did there. I mean, it's a fascinating read. It's a good thing to kind of get a feel and an idea for how these contracts work. But generally speaking, guys, that's the way this contract situation is working out right now. I will caution people. If I was the Colts and if I was Eagles front office, I would have probably asked that part of the stipulation for trading Carson Wentz would have been a renegotiation of his contract. meaning we'll send you these picks, right? The Eagles said, Carson, will move you to this location, a location with a coach with coaches I should say, in a plurality there, but you're going to have to give us something back in return. And I think that's the sticking point to me. Like, a lot of people focused in on the compensation we received through picks. Like, yes, I would have rather had the first round pick this year. I would rather or had multiple picks this year as opposed to having to wait for, kind of a situation where you very easily could earn a first round pick the following year. But at the end of the day, like, what they conditioned the stuff to, I thought was fair. What I will say is this, though. This seems like a really bad trade if you did not get Carson to renegotiate his contract, kill some of that dead money in his contract, right? So that way you're not just killing the Eagles, you're also helping the Colts out here with this. But at the same time, like, why would you trade somebody for an $850,000 cap savings when ultimately you're already cap strapped? And by the way, good luck finding a backup veteran quarterback for $850,000. That's going to be tough, guys. Like, the quality of backup you're going to get for about $1 million is not the greatest. Like, it's going to cost you a few million, 4, 5, potentially more, depending on who it is exactly you're seeking, the level of commitment you want to make, and are you looking for a bridge guy? Multiple factors going on here. So, the way I look at this is that I'm expecting or hoping, however you want to say it, that part of the stipulation of this trade was a renegotiation of the contract. Why do I say renegotiation and not restructure? I personally have never heard of restructuring dead money. When you restructure, generally what you're doing is you're converting part of your base salary into, like, per game roster bonuses or something like that in further years. So you're making a short, cap window, a short savings in your cap space for a single season, right? Greatest point in case I can make of that happening, guys, would be what the Eagles did with Fletcher Cox last season, where they took a significant amount of his significant amount of his actual base salary, converted it into per game roster bonuses, freed up a pretty good portion of cap space, and then rolled. That was part of the $20-some million, guys, that we rolled or deferred from 2020 to 2021 season in cap liabilities. So that's pretty much how I'm looking at this situation, guys, is that what's done is done. I'm not trying to re-legislate the past on any of that stuff. I'm just trying to make sure that the details of why things were done hold up to benefit the Eagles, because I would be very angry if the return you got was just a third and potentially a first-round pick, right? And you got really no cap savings in return for this. I'm not faulting them for trading Carson Wentz. I didn't see what other option he left you. He said he didn't want to be here. There's not a whole lot you can do about that. Like, you got to move that guy. Like, you're wasting time and energy trying to convince a guy. Like, let's be real. Carson Wentz made a calculated decision here. Like, and I'm not faulting Carson Wentz for this. Like, what is the likelihood that Carson Wentz was going to have the out picked up in his contract? No, the Eagles were probably going to exercise that out. He had a very small likelihood that he would have ever gotten to a third contract here in Philadelphia. I think he saw the writing on the wall. I think a lot of people are missing the forest for the trees because they're so focused in on, well, he ran from the competition. That's not really what happened, guys. I think he made that calculated decision of, there's no way I'm getting a third contract here. They're probably not going to take this out the out. It doesn't matter. There's not a real competition, guys. He was going to be named the starter if he stayed. But it's the ultimate long play. It's the long play aspects of it. I think he saw that. To me, I would be pretty angry with the Philadelphia Eagles organization if the only thing you got in return for this was a third-round pick in 2021, a potentially first-round pick, but a guaranteed second-round pick in 2022, but really no significant cap savings by making this move. Like, that would tick me off. That's poor management. That's on Howie. Because the one thing you had over Carson was, I know you don't want to be here. So in order to facilitate this to happening, I'm going to need you to work with me. If you don't, I have to keep you here, because at the end of the day, I'm only talking about an $850,000 savings. Like, I can't see how, rationally, guys, I can't see how you would go forward and, like, not ask him to renegotiate this contract. And like I said, you can't restructure it. I've never heard of restructuring dead money. I don't think you can do that. I think you have to renegotiate that, because I think that's the actual terms of the contract. So you have to renegotiate the contract if you're going to do that. I don't know. I don't know if that's ultimately what's going to happen, guys. I can't promise you that's what's going to go on. I mean, there's a part of me that feels like if that was part of the reality, we would have probably heard something. But my guess and my hope is that, well, they're just going to wait to announce the full details of the actual trade until we get closer to the actual league calendar year. Then you'll see them kind of like announce all the actual little in and out details of how it all kind of got facilitated and came into fruition. That's my guess on this, guys. But leave your comments down below. I want to stop real quick, and I want to thank my guy Irish Steve for buying me a cup of coffee, guys. Don't forget, guys, if you want to support the channel, there's a few ways you can do that. You can buy me a cup of coffee. It's greatly appreciated. You can also like, comment, and if you're not subscribed, hit that subscription button, guys. I greatly appreciate every one of you guys that do that. Or just keep watching the videos, guys, because at the end of the day, engagement and watching the videos, that's really what it's all about. So, hey, guys, I appreciate y'all. Leave your feedback down below, guys. What do you think about this, man? I mean, me personally, I don't know what else the Eagles could have done, but I'm hoping they were smart enough and frugal enough to make him renegotiate the contract before they allowed him to depart. That's kind of where I really stand on this. All right, guys, peace. I'm out of here. I'll see you on the next video.